Welcome to the Business of School podcast, brought to you by Cole Connect. Get ready for a journey of topical insights, engaging conversations, and maybe a few aha moments from the business, finance, and technology side of schools. Cole School experts are your host, and with our guests from the world of education, we're about to embark on a learning adventure to support you in the business of your school. Hello, I'm Kenton and I'm your host for today's episode. At Cole School Experts, we often see school payrolls with incorrect information, payroll staff spending valuable time searching for correct details, or payroll teams struggling to work effectively with other staff. We get it. Oversights happen and navigating payroll can be difficult, but we find that risks and annoyances can be avoided, or at least mitigated, with just a little pre-planning and some quality staff education. Welcome, Lauren, to the Business of School hot seat.
Hey Kenton, nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Tell us a bit more about payroll staff not receiving information in a timely manner and poor communication between school departments.
In my payroll career, when I've been doing payroll, no matter if I've thought that the entire payroll is correct, there's always something missing, whether it be an incorrect FTE, an hourly rate change, overtime payments, an allowance added at the last minute. These are really common last minute changes that can happen. And the biggest culprit for these is a breakdown between payroll and HR. Now, sometimes it can feel like payroll and HR are speaking different languages. So it's really great if we can get them on board. A technique that I used to use, I still do use in my career, is having a fortnightly catch-up with HR and going through all the goings-on in the school. So what they've heard, who's terminating, who might be hiring, if they're putting someone on a new allowance. That is going to be your best bet of getting all the information that you need. That person can be the head of HR, or it can be someone from HR who you receive information from regularly. You can also have a working document between you both. So you can put flags on there. It's sort of a live to-do list, and you can knock things off as you go. So that way you can make sure that you're on the same page, you're not getting anything missed, and they're in your court.
Yeah, okay. It's just fascinating, isn't it, that even in schools and these days with all the technology and all the communication, that there is a breakdown between some very key personnel and key departments.
Oh, definitely. It can feel like you're working in two different schools sometimes, especially the larger the school, the more common this is. So there can be breakdown between the heads of department and HR as well. So we really need to make sure that everyone's educated, everyone's passing information through to make sure the employees are happy.
Okay. What about the information itself? Too often we're seeing the information received for payroll is illegible or incorrect. How have you seen this managed in schools?
So unfortunately, a lot of schools are still paper-based. That can be problematic for a lot of reasons. Typically, we get forms that you can't read properly, or they have, they can look like one number when they are the other number. They get misplaced, they're lost, and then you've got the issue of filing, scanning. It's just an outdated procedure that really takes a lot of time and can cause a lot of mistakes. So there's a lot of payroll providers out there right now which offer online timesheets and leave application capability that really speeds things up and makes things more concise, makes life easier for everyone.
Okay. So in this age of digitalisation, are we seeing a wave of change where schools are looking towards trying to use systems and automated processes to mitigate these errors?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even particularly in the past 5 years, it's just grown tenfold, and the amount of payroll software packages getting on board with that and trying to make it easier for schools. Not just in the payroll space, but also in the HR space. So that's something that your HR department can look at as well. Something like staff kiosk or digital employee onboarding, just to make the process more seamless and easier for everybody.
Yeah. And in the context of the first point that we talked about, are you seeing that those systems are helping the integration between the payroll and the HR personnel and the data that's being shared?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it gives them a live reading of what's going on. You can see forms that have been submitted which aren't approved. You can see forms that haven't been processed yet. You can see forms that have been opened and not touched again. You can see what forms have been uploaded into what pay. It just, really gives a clearer picture of what information is flowing through the school. Yeah. And like you said, that software can be used in between departments as well, within the faculty, not just HR and payroll.
And those sort of systems must be providing a sort of registered audit log as well, which is mitigating risk as well within the payroll process.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, auditors love it. You can give them snapshots of each payroll period, what was approved, what wasn't, what went in, what didn't. There's no discerning, paper information, paper logs, payroll reports of folders. Those are definitely things of the past.
Okay. Well, we're all familiar with the fact that schools have limited resources and are always seeking efficiencies. What about school staff that are contacting the payroll department to discuss issues that might not necessarily be a payroll query?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, payroll is one of the departments that has the most contact with staff directly in issuing, which is natural, I suppose. Which is natural in issuing pay slips and having pay queries, but sometimes they come to payroll for queries that don't directly relate to them. They might relate to HR, or a common one is the staff coordinator. Perhaps they're chasing a missed day that the staff coordinator hasn't put in. So for this reason, and to free up the payroll's time, it's really good to educate the staff on the proper inquiry process of who to go first for what issue, just to ensure timely resolutions for everyone.
Okay. That sort of leads us into my next query, really. A question for you is that frequently we discover that managers and staff aren't educated about correct payroll processes in the schools.
Yes.
So how can this be managed better?
Yeah, look, we get managers that are signing off all sorts of things. We get managers that are signing off timesheets that only have a first name on them and a couple of hours with no description what it's for, or the hours don't add up, or we don't know where this employee came from. And look, we get it. Managers are overworked as well, and they're just trying to get the payroll through for their staff. A really helpful hint for onboarding of managers, or who someone is approving payroll for the first time, is to give them an A4 cheat sheet of payroll processing, what to look for, what to approve. And that way they're not going to forget every week, every fortnight, every month, whatever it is that they're processing payroll, of what they should check before they sign off the forms, whether it be electronic or manual, when to push it back to their staff, and when it's ready to forward through to payroll.
Yeah. I suppose they don't know what they don't know.
Yes,
so
exactly.
There is a responsibility from payroll management to make sure that all the supervisors are aware of what the critical information is as part of the process.
Yeah, exactly. And on that, it's really good to educate them about the timeliness of it as well. The implications for getting something in late. It doesn't just affect people's pay with the bank file. It can affect tax, it can affect super, it can affect their salary sacrificing payments, salary packaging, which can in turn affect their mortgages. So we really need to make sure that everyone's on the same page with that. A really useful tool is to create an internal payroll calendar to have the pay period start and end dates. You've got the pay slip date, you've got the cut-off date. That, again, is a really good onboarding tool for new employees.
Yeah. Or even communicating across all staff.
Exactly. At a previous client, I got the IT department to pop it as a link on their intranet page.
Yeah, excellent.
So new employees, I could just direct them to that link. Or if someone missed a deadline, I could show them that link. Look, this is what it is moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's a great tool to ensure that everyone's educated and everyone is on the same page.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants payroll to be late. It affects everybody.
Yes, exactly.
It's the last thing anybody wants in a school or in any organisation. So understanding and appreciating how you fit into the process, your little cog in the machine, is going to make that even more effective, isn't it? So
yeah, definitely. And often it just takes little fixes like this or little strategies like this, such as a spreadsheet here or a conversation there, just to make that thing more seamless.
And it's surprising sometimes, isn't it, how common a lot of these pain points that we've talked about today are seen in many schools.
Oh, my
this
goodness,
is not
yes.
just a unique thing that one or two are dealing with. These are more common than you think. So it's very useful to see how that just a few small little tweaks, a few more bit of education, understanding a process can make a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. Look, public, private, doesn't matter what denomination, 20 students, 2,000 students, they're all common issues that we can work together.
Well, thanks very much for joining us today. That's been so insightful.
You're welcome.
And we look forward to getting you in the hot seat again and talking about some more payroll issues in schools.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was so great to be here.
Take care.
Thanks.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Business of School podcast. We've enjoyed the conversation today and would love to have you join us for future episodes. Please hit the subscribe button and follow the links below to find more information and resources to support you and your school team. Until next time, keep being innovative, keep being awesome, and remember, there is always opportunity to improve on the journey. Thanks for connecting.